Hi there, this is Wafa Al-Abaidat. You're listening to the Women Power Podcast, a subsidiary platform to the Women Power Summit, the largest event in MENA, with the aim of empowering women and helping them achieve their absolute highest potential. Each week on the Women Power Podcast, you will hear honest, vulnerable, authentic, real conversations from inspiring women. These women will share their experiences and stories into what it takes to build a successful business and career. The podcast will share insight and inspiration and hopefully inspire action and lead change. Neda Hakeem is a designer, photographer, and co-founder and managing director of WeTheLoft, an online media business based on graphic designing, fashion photography, and videography. Growing up watching her mother and sister paint, Neda Hakeem developed an early eye for the arts that grew into a profession as a visual artist. With her flair for fun, she co-founded Jedda's energetic photography, film, and design firm, WeTheLoft. Welcome, Neda. So you've been saying that because of what's happened in Beirut, you have felt dead inside.
بعد أغسطس the 4th ما يفرق. كنت بقرأ كتاب في الويكند عن branding، وكان يتكلم على globalism versus tribalism، وكيف قبل 60 سنة they expected إنه بعد في دا الوقت اللي إحنا عايشينه حيكون في globalization تام وكأنه العالم كله a small village، ولكن هذا ما حصل. وقد ما الإنترنت يشيل من بيننا حواجز، قد ما إحنا كبشر نبني حواجز جديدة، لأنه we need to identify، فما ينفع نكون كلنا واحد. اللي حقيقي أكتر هو tribalism، وإنك أنت you belong to a tribe، والترايب هي ناس يفكروا زيك، ناس يشبهوا لك، people that you can relate to. فوقتها استوعبت وزي كأنه it validated what I was feeling، إنه I belong to a tribe and the tribe got hit by a bomb. فما يفرق إذا أنا لبنانية ولا لا، this is my tribe. وحتى فكرت إنه لو حصل الانفجار في مكان تاني في لبنان، هل كان حيكون وقعوا علي بنفس الطريقة؟ أعتقد لا، لأنه المكان اللي تضرر هو المكان اللي أنا أعرفه، اللي أعرف ناسه، اللي لما أمشي في الشارع أسلم على الناس حتى لو ما أعرف أساميهم بس أشوفهم كل يوم. فعشان كده حاسة إنه ما يفرق أنا من فين.
You said that your partners were from Lebanon, and I know you guys are really close as well, which is incredible. How did you guys meet, and did you co-found WeTheLoft together?
أوكي، إحنا كنا co-founders 3، أنا وربا سيداني وفرح جوني. فرح أعرفها من وأنا طفلة، فرح تكون أخت my best friend in school، فأعرفها مرة من زمان. وهي تركت السعودية، راحت على لبنان أكثر من مرة، بعدين she ended up in New York ودرست filmmaking. ولما رجعت أنا كنت بأشتغل مع ربا، فربا was my colleague at a design studio، وطلعت الفكرة إنه يلا نعمل شيء مع بعض. إيش هو؟ ما كان في شيء واضح، وكانت الفكرة إنه نبغى نشتغل as freelancers in one space، والسيرفيسز حقتنا تكمل بعض. أنا كنت وقتها دوبي راجع من لندن، أنا did fashion photography، وفرح كانت بتعمل فيلم ميكينج، وربا كانت جرافيك ديزاينر. وكده بدأت الفكرة. بعدين لما the space came together وأول مرة دخلنا على المكان اللي كنا بنشتغل فيه، كان it was like an abandoned space فوق مكتب أهل فرح، و exposed ceiling وكده a lot of windows، وهذا ما كان هو الستايل maybe now it's trending، بس وقتها it wasn't a trend. ففرح أول ما دخلت قالت it looks like a loft and this is how the name came to be the loft. وقررنا نعمل شراكة مع بعض واشتغلنا مع بعض. So this is how it started.
So now you're the only one running WeTheLoft. What has happened from then to now with your partners? Why did they exit and how is your relationship with them today?
Okay, مو how they exited، كيف احنا بدأنا البارتنرشيب. كان دائما عندنا unspoken rule، وما افتكر انه عمرنا اتكلمنا فيها، بس I was so lucky and we were so lucky to found each other، ونلاقي بعض بطريقة انه احنا نفكر بنفس الطريقة. دائما الفرنشيب كانت منفصلة تماما عن الشغل، ومهما ايش يصير جوا المكتب، اول ما يخلص الشغل كلنا حنكون مع بعض، we're having dinner ولا we're spending time together. فمرة كان في فصل بين اي شيء يحصل جوا الشغل واي شيء برا. بعد 4 سنين تقريبا من بداية WeTheLoft، اكتشفنا انه التوجه حق كل واحدة فينا شوية مختلف، وكيف كل واحدة شايفة المستقبل أو the vision for the future كان شوية مختلف. ربا كان في بالها أنه هي تبغى تستمر كأننا فريلانسرز بنشتغل، وفرح كان نفسها تعمل more filmmaking and I wanted to create a studio with a team and كنت أبغى البزنس يكبر بهذه الطريقة. فداك الوقت فرح قررت تترك ترجع على بيروت و to pursue filmmaking and to do a family project مع أخواتها، وشيء من أول هم نفسهم يعملوه مع بعض. ربا بعدها بسنة قررت ترجع كمان على بيروت عشان كانت تبغى بنتها تكون في المدرسة في بيروت، يعني كانت تبغى بنتها تكبر في لبنان. أبدا ما أثر على الشغل وأبدا ما أثر على علاقتنا ببعض، ويعني حسيت إنه كل ما أحكي الحكاية لأي أحد يقول لي بس هذا مو عادي، بس ما تضاربتوا، يعني ما حصلت أي مشكلة بينكم، ما اختلفتوا على ولا أي شيء. كأنه كان في مرة ثقة عالية بيننا. وأول ما بدأنا الشغل طبعا كنا إحنا الثلاثة لحالنا واضطرينا نقسم الرولز بيننا وبين بعض، وأنا كنت الأكاونتنت يعني 5 سنين، وربا كانت هي المسؤولة عن البراند حقنا، فرح كانت مسؤولة عن everything about the clients HR and client servicing. وما حد عمره يعني سأل التاني في شغله، يعني أنا دايما أقول 5 سنين عمره ما حد سألني الفلوس فين راحت أو كم عندنا في الحساب. فكان مرة كان في trust عالي بيننا وبين بعض.
In your transition from basically adopting both their roles and you having to understand their roles, which one was hard and which one was easy for you? Because, you know, being an accountant, I find it is a little bit introverted, but there are roles where, you know, you're dealing with the clients now, and if they're facing any challenges now, you have to be on the front lines like in a war. So how did you transition into understanding these roles and becoming good at them?
شوفي، عشان التيم كان مرة صغير، ولما كنا أنا وفرح وربا، ففي البداية زي كأنه في كل واحدة فينا مسؤولة عن شيء، بس كلنا بنعمل مع بعض كل شيء. فأنا مرة تعلمت كثير من فرح، تعلمت كثير من فرح client servicing، تعلمت منها مرة كثير كيف أفهم الكلاينت هو إيش يبغى وكيف I bridge يعني logic and magic. وعشان كده لما فرح تركت to be completely honest ما حسيت نفسي لحالي، لأنه فرح وربا كانوا one phone call away. فحتى لما يعني شيء ماني عارفة أعمله حكلم فرح أقول لها إيش أسوي، أكلم ربا أسألها إيش أسوي، وكانوا دائما بيساعدوني. وعلى الريليشن شيب كيف اتعملت، أعتقد أنه ما كان فيها attachment لصورة معينة. فعندنا attachment لبعض انه احنا نكون في حياة بعض، بس مو لازم يكون بشكل معين. فزي كأنه كان عندنا understanding انه شكل العلاقة له عمر افتراضي، فلو خلص عمره it's okay، ما في attachment, we'll go on to the next phase.
I want to journey back to your earlier experiences. You have a lot of agency experience. You've interned at agencies. I think you've also worked in different agencies. Even if you look at what you've done before the loft, it's quite expansive. You've really like done the rounds. You've worked with, it looks like you've worked with small agencies and big agencies, and you've really understood the landscape of agency life and, you know, branding and strategy. How did you shift from fashion photography into this space, which is a lot more advertisement branding based?
أنا الباك جراوند حقي is graphic design، فأنا درست ديزاين أصلاً. وفاشن فوتوغرافي happened شوية بالصدفة. at the time نوف أختي كان عندها سترة وكانت تحتاج أحد يصور لهم، فكانت تستخدم different photographers وأنا أعمل لها البوست برودكشن. بعدين قالت لي ليش ما تدرسي فاشن فوتوغرافي عشان أنتي تعملي لنا هو كله من أوله لآخره. فلما عملت هذا الكلام كان في 2011، ما كان في شيء اسمه فاشن فوتوغرافي، فيعني اتليست في جدة، وكان في انه تصور اللبس على نفسك وخلاص، يعني هذا هو. وعشان كمان في هذاك الوقت بدأت سوشيال ميديا، فزي كأنه a new industry started with it، بأنه we introduced styling, art direction, set design. هذه أشياء كلها ما كانت موجودة. فلو أجاوب على سؤالك كيف انتقلت من شيء لشيء، أعتقد أنه هو له دخل بكيف أنا شخصيتي أنه I like to learn new things and master them. فما عندي passion في شيء معين قد ما أنه my passion is just to learn. as long as I'm learning, I'm passionate about it.
So what did you learn when you had all this agency experience?
يعني زي ما أنت قلتي، في أشياء مرة كثير تتعلميها، وفي أشياء إيجابية وأشياء سلبية. بس أنا أعتقد إنه اللي أثر علي من all my experience ف starting the loft كان إنه كنت عارفة what I don't want to become، وكنت عارفة إنه I want to create a space that I feel comfortable in to يعني exercise my creativity. وهذا شيء ما حسيته كان موجود in agencies أو حتى in design studios. وكان دايما الإحساس بين يا إنه إحنا كأننا مصنع بس بنصنع ورا بعض وكأنها يعني it's all about the quantity and not the quality, or completely the opposite where we take a lot of time والproject ياخد سنين لما أحيانا حتى ما يطلع. ف I wanted to create something in the middle. وكان مرة مهم وطبعا باك ذن في 2012 ما كان في شيء في محيطي أو in my environment شيء اسمه work culture، أو إنه السبيس اللي تشتغلي فيه يكون حلو شكله أو شكله مريح أو فيه له كنبة أو it feels a little bit loungy. Everything that I was lacking in my previous experience حاولت أحطه في the loft.
Did you have any mentors من يوم كنتي في الأيجنسيز؟ يعني هل كنتي متعلمة من شخص واحد أو في أحد أثر عليك during this period؟
كتير أكيد طبعاً. وحتى لما بدأنا The Loft يعني أنا كان عمري 24، أنا وربا وفرح يعني عمرنا قريب من بعض، ف 24 25 كلنا. كان عندنا basic understanding of the creative work بس ما كان عندنا any understanding of anything that has to do with numbers, business, client servicing, contracts ولا شيء. فكتير ناس ساعدوني وكتير ناس من اللي أنا كنت أشتغل معاهم اللي أنا كنت أعتبرهم my mentors أو الناس اللي علموني كتير وقفوا جنبنا دايما وفي منهم الان اليوم نسميهم the godfathers of the loft يعني من كتر ما كانوا دايما معانا.
Is there a specific person that you'd want to name and like a specific incident that they were there for you?
صراحة مرة كتير فما حعدد كل أحد، بس يعني حصل موقف من كم يوم وفكرني يعني a life lesson اتعلمته من أحمد محتسب زارنا على المكتب وقال يعني great work وكل شيء تمام وكده، قال بس ترى ما أعتقد أنه أنتوا حتنجحوا. ليش؟ قال لأنه لازم تجيبوا أحد يمسك البزنس سايد، you cannot do it yourself. قال دايما في مشكلة إنه الكرياتيفز يضحوا بالفاينانشال يعني reward for the creative output. وكأنها من وقتها it became like a challenge عندي إنه ما عمري حضحي لا بالفاينانشال reward ولا بالcreative output. I have to find a balance. فit came up recently in a meeting إنه البادجت حقت الكلاينت ما تسمح خلينا ندفع من جيبنا، لا we have to be creative enough to find the best way to work with the budget.
What does that mean? What is the best creative way to work with the budget if they don't? Because this applies for everything, like fashion, and anybody who has a startup will always take a hit financially, maybe in the beginning, and they don't understand their footing. How do you strike that balance between this is worth the value of our time and this is like it's a dream scenario, it's like great client, perfect budget, great work, we delivered on time, but is that really realistic?
شوفي عشان احنا لما بدأنا وحتى يعني until recently نشتغل مع small and medium businesses فالبادجتس مو دائما كبيرة، واستوعبنا انه اللي يفرق ما هو البرودكشن فاليو بسعره، اللي يفرق هو the creative concept and the idea. هل الفكرة يعني حتوصل، هل الفكرة is humanized enough, is the idea will it resonate with the target audience. وعشان الفكرة تكون humanized وتكون قريبة وتوصل ما ندخل بسعرها أو بسعر التنفيذ حقها. ونقدر نقول إنه اليوم الجلوبال ترند مرة تساعد هذا التفكير، لأنه it's all about being true, natural، ما يكون فيه له a lot of يعني ما يكون فيه له فزلكة، يعني خلاص كل ما كانت بسيطة كل ما تكون أقرب.
You said there were the three of you when you started the loft. Everybody went, Ruba and Farah went on to pursue different ventures. You were determined to build a company and you were determined to focus. So if you look at your record, you haven't, to my knowledge, started a side hustle or a side project. You are extremely focused on growing the loft, growing your studio. Where does that commitment come from? Why are you not being distracted by anything else?
عشان my passion is learning. فحسيت إنه طول ما أنا بتعلم وطول ما أنا بقى أعلم I'm interested و I'm staying. وفي آخر كم سنة ويمكن أول ما فرح وربا تركوا كنت أنا مضطرة ومجبورة إني I build a team، وهذا شيء أنا عمري ما عملته قبل كده. يعني كان عندنا يمكن 2 team members and today we're 12. فكنت لازم أنا أتعلم how to manage a team وأتعلم how to lead the team كمان. and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with management. I fell in love with leadership. وكل يوم أتعلم زيادة. So this is why I'm so focused.
I don't remember the last time someone said, I fell in love with management. Because to me, management is one of the hardest things to master. Dealing with people generally, for me, it takes a lot of my energy. I have a team of 33. It's exhausting. Why did you fall in love with management? It's so hard.
يمكن أنا اليوم I like branding, I like strategy, I like photography, I like the creative output. But to me, it's more about the people and it's more about teaching, it's more about mentoring. ما أعرف إذا ناف قالت لك I think she mentioned it. أنا أصغر من ناف ب3 سنين وفي المدرسة أنا كنت أذاكر لها فأنا أصغر منها و I used to tutor her فأنا I love teaching من وأنا مرة صغيرة I found إنه يعني leadership is not about يعني ما ينفع أروح المكتب كل يوم الهدف حقي إني أطفي حرايق الهدف حقي إني I'm teaching يعني helping my team grow ودائما أنا دائما أقول إنه the best يعني leadership is servant leadership I go every day to serve my team to do their best I truly enjoy that ويمكن هذا اللي كان مرة صعب علي during COVID لأنه كنت حاسة إنه مع working remotely تماما it's more about the work and it's less about the team and that was very difficult for me.
So how much of your time do you spend mentoring and teaching and coaching your team in your day or in your week? Like, would you say that's 90% of where I put my time or 50% of where I put my time?
I would say 50%, yes.
And when you mentor and coach, do you do it verbally? Do you do presentations? What's your style?
Going back to يعني the best leaders are servant leaders فدايما أحس إنه I cannot serve the team member بطريقتي I have to serve him or her بطريقتهم whatever works for them I'll adapt to it فمع في ناس بالنسبة لهم يحبوا يسمعوا presentation في ناس يحبوا يكون more of a workshop في ناس يحبوا one-on-one في ناس يحبوا إنه I give them a task and then يعني they run with it and then we talk about فاللي ينفع لكل أحد يعني ما في one size fits all and this is the exciting challenge for me is to crack the code and understand what everyone likes.
So interesting. Okay, so my question is, how do you find great talent? Where do you go and what do you look for when you hire somebody?
يعني I truly believe that I am a very lucky person. وكل مرة يعني أدور على شيء أكتشف إنه اللي بدور عليه بيدور عليه. بس what do I look for when hiring? Definitely the personality and not the skill. أعتقد إنه anyone can learn anything if they want to. فمرة يهمني إن يعني حتى إحنا طريقة the way we hire we don't really care about the CV or the portfolio or anything. I really care about the personality more. what I look for is قد إيش هم they're willing to learn قد إيش هم عندهم they're actually passionate about learning and قد إيش عندهم they're willing to يعني it's all about growth and development فلو عندهم هذه capacity then they're a great cultural fit.
Is it hard to find young people or creatives that love to learn or do you find that no they're actually in abundance?
يعني أنا أحس إنه from my يعني ما أقدر أقول في العالم قد إيش فيه أو في يعني in the Middle East قد إيش موجود بس أقدر أقول إنه أنا دايما لقيت إنه what I'm seeking is seeking me back I never had a problem with it لما تكون يعني لو حتكلم على WeTheLoft لما الكالتشر حق الكومباني يكون مرة واضح you will only attract people that are a cultural fit ولما يكون البروسيس حق الهايرينج مرسوم ومبني بطريقة معينة إنه ما يركز على السي في أو ما يركز على السكيلز اللي خلاص هي جاية جاهزة من برا ويكون بيركز أكتر على growth and development I think it will be much easier to find those people. كمان كنت بقول إنه كمان it's a part of يعني leadership إنه أنا أحتاج ألاقي المفتاح حق كل بني آدم اللي يخليه يتحمس يتعلم.
How do you find that though? Is it like through your interview process? Do you just spend a lot of time with them? Do you do a personality test? Like there are all these strength finder tests online where you can understand the person and what moves them, or do you do things organically?
طيب we do things a little bit يعني organically بس كمان في لها شوية structure ف the way we hire مثلا في process وأول يعني كل أحد يبعت الطبيعي، يبعتوا cover letter, CV and portfolio, and you get a feeling, you get a sense from the email إنه if this person fits or not. بس we don't screen them بهذه الطريقة. we usually have meetings, وأول meeting يكون on Zoom because I feel إنه أنا في يوم من الأيام رحت job interview and I was being interviewed وحسيت بالتوتر النفسي اللي تحسيه لما تكوني في مكان ما هو حقك. فأول meeting تكون على Zoom، تكون في بيتك في in your comfortable space, and we just get to know each other على الخفيف, and then نبعت questionnaire. الquestionnaire مرة حلو إنه هو الابليكنت يفهم نفسه أكتر ويعرف هو إيش يبغى ويعرف إحنا إيش بندور على إيش. فلما أنا يوصلني questions يعني answers back, I get to understand who they are, how they like to work, إيش طريقة شغلهم أصلاً. And then from that we do another interview that doesn't feel like an interview, it feels like a يعني كأننا we're having coffee, and this takes a long time. يعني البروسس طويل، بس عشان البروسس طويل تختاري الشخص اللي يكون مناسب for the culture. وما بقول إنه الناس اللي ما نختارهم they're not good, no, they're probably great, but they're just not a good cultural fit.
Have you ever hired the wrong person even after you've done your due diligence and you applied your your strategy on finding the right person?
I was never stuck with anyone. ودايما يعني عشان we practice what we actually preach. فلو عدى يعني لو البروسيس اللي في البداية did not filter شيء معين ما حيكملوا. they cannot يعني ما حيضاين مدة طويلة. ف it happened إنه we hired someone and they were not a great cultural fit. Within the first 2 weeks they decided to quit. بس ماني حاسة إنه ما أعتقد إنه في a hard يعني conversation. لو لازم تحصل حتحصل.
So statistically 1 in 4 people leave an agency in less than a year. This is a global statistic. Do you feel like that's something you've suffered from, or do you feel like actually our retention, we retain our talent, and I've had people with me for 3, 4, or 5 years?
أعتقد إنه it depends ليه حيمشوا. دائما أنا أقول لكل التيم قد ما أنا ما كان عندي attachment to my partners أو attachment لنوع العلاقة اللي بيننا، ما عندي attachment with the team members. اللي يبغى يترك يعني بكل حب ما حيكون عندي أي مشكلة. بس دائما أقول لهم إنه أتمنى if you leave for a better job or you leave for starting your own business. فزي كأنه لو جاتك فرصة أحسن أنا أتمنى لك هي كمان. please come and tell me and I'll let you go, and يعني ما عندي أي مشكلة. so far لا يعني our first hire يعني أول designer كانت معانا هي ألين اليوم معانا لها 6 سنين. والتيم يعني يجلسوا وفي يعني كمان one of the stories اللي تشبه my partnership مع فرح وربا. ليان عبد الشكور كانت she worked with me at the loft لمدة سنة, and then she decided to leave, and then she was accepting another job offer. وحطيتها قلت لها لا ما حتشتغلي في مكان تاني. you need to start your own business, you have to do it right now. and she did, and she founded موزون, and we're actually neighbors and we have a partnership. فكمان بنشتغل مع بعض. فزي كأنه لما ما يكون في attachment لنوع العلاقة تستمر دائما.
Do you choose your clients? Because when I go to Saudi, I always feel like there's so much supply and little demand. A lot of people have an abundance of footfall and a need, and especially for something like the Loft that specialized in things at the time that no other agency was doing, really focused on, you work with a lot of young entrepreneurs, startups, SMEs, you're a cool young boutique agency. Do you get to choose your projects, or do you take what comes through the door?
صراحة يعني we take what comes to us, وما عمرنا حسينا إنه there's a dull project. يعني it's what we make out of it. فدايما فيمكن في البداية it was exciting for us to work with يعني startups عشان we feel إنه we can exercise our creativity وما يكون في tough guidelines. ولكن يعني قد ما نكبر وقد ما هو mature حتى نوع شغلنا matures. today يمكن أنا قبل 2 سنين لو سألت my senior designer what's your dream job كان حيقول لي a startup وأعمل البراند from A to Z على كيفي. بس اليوم لو سألته حيقول لي لا working with a governmental entity ب guidelines مرة صعبة and I crack the code and I actually make something great out of it. فما في perfect client.
Have you ever had to deal with crazy clients? Because I have.
يعني حأكذب عليكي لو أقول لك إنه في 8 سنين I didn't. We all did. بس أحس إنه بالذات في الفترة الأخيرة حسيت إنه صار في level of understanding شوية deeper عن قد إيش هم يتصلوا أو قد إيش يغيروا رأيهم أو قد إيش يكون عندهم feedback. I think it happened when I was the client and I was doing work with another agency for something that we cannot do in-house. whether كان contracting, interior design, copywriting اللي يكون. فلما أنا كنت الكلاينت استوعبت إنه what I'm doing is my baby. يعني this is my baby. بس لما أنا أكون I'm providing a service, it's just a project زيه زي مليون other project. فصار عندنا this understanding إنه when client is going crazy over something, she's just going crazy over يعني حلم حياتها يمكن يخرب أو ما يزبط، أو حلم حياته ممكن الآن يتلخبط كله عشان يعني اللي إحنا نحسبه شيء مرة بسيط it's actually something very big ليهم. فصار في this understanding إنه if they're anxious معناته إحنا ما ريحناهم in a certain way and we need to find a way to trust us. بس طبعا بعد ما نعمل كل هذا في ناس يكونوا أو في clients يكونوا they're still very difficult and this is where you draw the line إنه I'll make sure you're happy this time. I'll try not to take you again. بس ما هو أول response يطلع مننا.
You give me this vibe that you know how to set boundaries with your clients or you know how to set the tone for certain projects. Am I right or am I wrong?
يعني it came with time صراحة. يعني ما كنت كده من البداية، بس يعني قد ما تتعلمي بعدين لما أنا أكون فاهمة تماما أنا إيش بعمل and I feel like I am an expert and I'm not just a service provider. يعني my tone changes and my body language changes وكيف يعني الانرجي حقتي كيف توصل للكلاينت تكون كمان مرة مختلفة.
So you said 50% of your time is coaching, mentoring, and supporting your team. Where does the other 50% of the time go?
Developing the business, understanding the market, understanding what the market needs, and developing our products, our services to adapt to whatever the need is.
So you said that you enjoy managing the people the most. That gives you a lot of joy. What do you enjoy the least? Like what drains you and you're like, I don't want to do this meeting, or, you know, what's more difficult for you as part of your role?
Meetings and phone calls.
Why?
I feel وما يعني أعتقد إنه هي يعني a time management issue where because I يعني ألبس different hats every day. I feel إنه meetings and phone calls drain my energy وما أقدر I focus on what really matters.
You're an avid reader and I love how you have now highlights for all your books and you now design these gorgeous looking templates with your favorite quotes from every book. Does it ever get tiring, like highlighting every book and then or just, you know, stopping to like take notes or whatever? And does it get overwhelming if you read a lot to apply everything that you learn?
Okay, so أنا دائما لما أقرأ يعني أي شيء that resonates with me or anything that I like I copy it على النوتس حقتي and I keep it there. فدائما لما أبغى أفتكر شيء I go back to the notes لأنه الكتاب حيكون مرة صعب to go back to. And sometimes when I'm reading about business or something that I can apply at work على طول من البداية يكون عندي يعني زي كأنه a note like a to-do list. whenever something that I think would work for us على طول أحطه on a note. لما أخلص الكتاب I go back to the notes and see what I want to apply من كل حاجة. بس to be completely honest أعتقد إنه هو knowledge gets stored in my mind and they're filed in a way. whenever يطلع لي موقف أو أي شيء في الشغل that I need يعني that piece of information زي كأنه أدور عليها ألاقيها أطلعها and then I use it.
Does it feel like you're studying for something or are you truly enjoying reading? You have a great you find it easy for you to store the information and to take the notes.
صراحة لا I enjoy it. يعني it doesn't feel like studying. وغير انه اصلا even if it felt like studying I love studying. ودايما اقول حلمي ارجع اذاكر تاني. فلا it doesn't bother me at all. واحيانا يعني حتى أنا زيك I read a book and then I don't remember anything from it وأفتكر one piece of information اللي هو الشيء الوحيد اللي it resonated with me at the time. و sometimes I feel إنه يعني أحس إنه تقرأ الكتاب لما أنت تحتاجيه والأشياء اللي تهمك they will resonate وحتفتكريها and then when you read it again حتستوعبي وتفهمي وتفتكري أشياء تانية مختلفة يعني وكلها it depends على إيش بيصير في حياتك اليوم. Does it make sense?
This podcast is brought to you by O'Brien Hill. O'Brien Hill is a leading communications agency focusing on public relations, event management, and marketing. It's made up of a fantastic group of creatives in the design and PR fields. The agency first came to life in 2010 as my brainchild. Our creative consulting services were in demand in the UK after our online publication Sketchbook became an overnight success. Much like a proud mama, our agency's namesake is attributed to the place of its inception, Notting Hill. It's now 10 years later and we're one of the leading communication agencies in town, and we as a team are incredibly proud to be working on this very podcast behind the scenes. Check us out on www.obienhill.com. How do you pick your books? How do you pick what you want to read? Do you have a list or do you just read what you're in the mood for?
صراحة I read what I'm in the mood for. طبعا أكيد عندي good reads وحاطة فيه books that I want to read. بس every time I finish my book and I want to start something new أفتح ولا واحد nothing resonates with me. I keep just looking for different things لما ألاقي حاجة معينة يعني. بس أنا in general I love memoirs. I like يعني I don't like fiction. وعندي كده يعني في نوع كتب معينة that I always enjoy. I usually go for that.
Kindle or hard books or soft paperbacks?
audio all the time. وأحيانا يعني أغلب الوقت يكون عندي يعني الإي بوك عندي audio book والإي بوك بس عشان I keep the notes منه.
Most people listen to them when they're in the car. So where do you listen to, especially during COVID?
طول الوقت أنا ما أسمع ميوزك. يعني هذه دائما صدمة الناس إنه don't you listen to music؟ لا أسمع audio books. فطول الوقت يعني بالذات especially during COVID يعني when I'm cooking, when I'm cleaning, when I'm preparing anything يعني طول الوقت بسمع audio books.
I've seen that on Instagram you've taken some quotes and you've started designing these layouts where you share some of your favorite takeaways from books. Where did that idea come from for you to do that? And doing the templates and artworks, it looks like it took some time as well because it's quite beautifully designed. So where did you think, you know what, I'm going to take some of my quotes and I'm not going to just post them using Instagram fonts. I'm going to design my own layouts. Where did that inspo come from?
So basically زي ما قلت لك أنا متعودة إنه لما أقرأ أي حاجة I keep notes of everything that I like بس عشان يكون it's like my own summary عشان لما أبغى أفتكر حاجة أرجع لها. فكنت دايما أبعت لنوف أختي إنه look what I found شوفي إيش قرأت شوفي إيش لقيت. فهي كانت دايما تقول لي you have to share them. honestly أنا عشان my background is design فدايما يعني أحب الأشياء تكون مرتبة. فبسيطة هي يعني it's an app يعني اسمه over and you just design يعني you design a template and then خلاص you just keep changing the text.
Tell me about your relationship with Nof.
So يعني أنا ونوف مرة قريبين من بعض and صح بيننا a few years بس we're like يعني من وإحنا صغار we're like twins and we're so close. ولكن كان يعني عشان شخصيتنا غير يعني يمكن اليوم we are very similar بس يعني واحنا بنكبر شخصيتنا كانت شوية مختلفة. وصح كلامك she is an extrovert and I am an introvert. فدايما كنت أنا أحس إني I'm in her shadow ودايما كده استخبى يعني in her shadow ودايما I seek her approval. and then لما كبرنا شوية تغيرت الدينامكس ما كان عندنا يعني enough awareness to إنه نواجه هذه التغيرات اللي حصلت والاختلافات اللي بيننا أصلا. it seemed like we were close for a couple of years بس فعليا احنا كنا تماما بنجامل بعض. The relationship was not authentic whatsoever. ومو عشان أنا قاصدة أو هي قاصدة، حقيقي كان بيحصل من غير قصد وبس ما كان في awareness. And then a few last year or two years ago، عشان هي مرة بتشتغل على نفسها كتير وعشان أنا مرة أشتغل على نفسي كتير، فحصل يعني تصادم في موقف معين وحصلت مشكلة مرة كبيرة بيننا. And it changed who I am today and it changed who she is today. وغيرت العلاقة بيننا. فأقدر أقول إنه إحنا أول مرة نكون حقيقيين مع بعض. وبطلت نوف أختي الكبيرة أو أنا أختها الكبيرة، لأنه في أوقات كانت الداينامكس إنه أنا الكبيرة. And we're just we actually see each other. دائما كنا نحس إنه يعني أو اللي اكتشفنا إنه في علاقة الأخوات نحس إنه إحنا امتداد لبعض. It's like she's an extension of me. I actually don't see her. She's just like يعني a part of me أو a reflection of a part of me. وأول ما حصل يعني separation we started seeing each other, and this is when the relationship became real and authentic.
Watching your interview together was so interesting. So it was so interesting to see you guys, and I wonder why was that important for you to do that with her on the live?
فنوف كانت دائما تطلب مني انه نعمل لايف مع بعض، بس عشان العلاقة كانت دائما مبنية على مجاملة كنت احس انه ما ابغى او ما احس انه حيكون حقيقي او I have nothing to say. بعدين الداينامكس تغيرت بيننا، فحسيت انه زي كأنه كنت أخاف إني أعمل معاها لايف وأكون in her shadow، لأنه I am an extension of her and she's an extension of me. بس لما صارت يعني when the relationship became so clear and authentic I felt إنه حأجلس معاها في اللايف within my space وما أحس إنه يعني I will feel seen وقاعدة في مكاني، ماني مستخبية in her shadow أو تحتها. Does it make sense?
That makes so much sense. And does it have to do with the loft as well? Like the more that you are building a stronger foundation in the business, the more stable it's becoming, the more experience you're having, it's like you literally have your own physical and mental space and this is yours now, and it's like more of an equilibrium rather than like, does the loft have to do with you feeling like, okay, I have my own space now in the world, or this is what I bring to the table?
ممكن، بس ما أعتقد، لا، لأنه دائما يعني من وأنا مرة صغيرة I'm always good at whatever I'm doing. يعني I was a very good student in school. I was a very good student يعني in my studies. And حتى لما أول ما تخرجت I found a great job. فدائما يعني دائما أنا مستقلة بنفسي، ولكن زي كأنه في حضور نوف عشان حضورها مرة قوي دائما I feel إني I disappear in her shadow.
What is your biggest fear, Neda?
To lose purpose.
And what's your purpose?
صراحة it sounds like a cliche بس حقيقة to serve.
To serve who?
Just to serve. يعني دايما أحس إنه I want to help, I want to serve, I want to make things better دايما.
Where did we talked a lot about you loving to learn and loving to teach. Where did this this perfect student, or not perfect, but where did this love for studying come from? Is that something your parents embedded in you, like be a good student, be responsible, be independent, or did you just generally enjoy school?
I genuinely enjoyed school. صراحة ما أعرف من فين جاء، بس I genuinely liked school. يعني I loved studying.
And if you went back to studying your master's, or if you went back to school, what would you study and where would you go?
I would definitely study something that has to do with organizational psychology or like human development.
Do you know which city you'd want to go to or which country?
I can't imagine myself في أي مكان غير جدة صراحة.
Really? You know, that was one of my questions I didn't get to ask you. You never went to Dubai or anywhere else to get agency experience. You're so rooted in Jeddah. Is there a reason why يعني you feel so close to your country or to your city?
فنرجع لأول موضوع فتحناه. I feel rooted to my tribe. ف I feel that I need to always be close to my people. It has nothing to do with الحدود الجغرافية يعني، بس إنه أحتاج أكون قريبة من ناسي. ويمكن كمان بحكم قربي من نوف كنت دايما أحس إني لازم أكون قريبة منها، وكمان عشان يعني من أول ما تخرجت من الجامعة دايما كان عندي فرص مرة كويسة هنا. I never felt lost. يعني I always had great opportunities when it comes to jobs, projects, and then when I left my last job, I resigned with no plans. I didn't have a plan, and my plan was just create space for something better to come. And the loft happened. مع إنه كان another option would have been studying or traveling to pursue studying.
So I love talking about money. I always find that not enough women talk about money, how to get it, how to bargain for it. What does money mean to you? What is your relationship like with money?
دايما بالنسبة لي money, I think about it in terms of abundance, definitely. بالنسبة لي money is financial freedom. It's about freedom. It's not about anything more or less. وما أعتقد إنه ما عمره كان عندي الإحساس إنه I want more money، وما عمره كان عندي الإحساس إنه I don't care about money. It was never on my mind. فبالنسبة لي طول ما في financial freedom، طول ما خلاص everything is okay.
So I didn't pay myself for the first couple of years when I started my company, and I paid my team. I didn't take out a loan. I didn't get a partner. I didn't get an investor. So I paid myself way later than I should have. Are you paying yourself today as a business owner? Are you paying yourself well, like worth the value that you're putting into your company?
يعني لو أنا بأشتغل، لو أنا I never started my own business وأنا I'm just working, definitely كنت حكون بعمل يعني maybe if not triple quadruple what I'm doing now. بس أنا بالنسبة لي it's not about the money, it's more about being able again to what I started with, being able to exercise my creativity in a place where I actually enjoy. فإذا هذا هو الثمن حقه I don't mind it. عشان احنا اول ما بدأنا we didn't have a team, we were just partners, so we did pay ourselves. يعني كانت البروفيتس تتقسم by يعني كل project حتى مو كل سنة أو كل quarter. we made a lot of money in the beginning, and then احنا آخر السنة يعني profit sharing، يعني يتقسم البروفيت على كل أحد.
Wow, that's so inspiring. I don't know anybody who's done that. All the profits, not even like a small percentage, all of it?
At the loft اليوم عشان في التيم a couple of years ago I was thinking about sharing profits مع التيم, and I had a consultation, an amazing consultation مع شوق from Berlin, وقالت لي إنه في طرق مرة كثيرة where you can share the profit مع التيم, وشرحت لي كل واحدة بالتفصيل كيف ممكن تمشي. And this is the second year. By the end of the year نشيل جزء من البروفيت that goes back to the company, and another part of the profit يتقسم على التيم members. والطريقة اللي احنا اخترناها وحتى كانت يعني عرضت كل الطرق على التيم وخلينا انه كلنا we voted, and this was the one that made sense actually. يعني not a majority vote, actually everyone voted on the same thing, انه it has to do with the years they spent at the loft. فتتقسم على حسب عدد سنوات العمل.
Do you explain to people like this is the profit so we're splitting it, or you just tell them this is what you're getting? Like do you share the numbers with them as well? Because that was also something I've always struggled with.
صراحة we never did, ولكن لو أحد كان طلب we're very honest and transparent about everything. فما حد عمره طلب إنه يشوف كل البروفيتس، بس لو أحد طلب كان ممكن يشوفها.
In some of the books I've read, they put the numbers like on the wall and everyone's like working towards those financial targets, and you just it's a bit of a sensitive issue, you know what I mean?
لما يكون في target a number يسبب anxiety مرة عالية، ويسبب إنه على آخر شهرين يبدأ يصير في cutting corners و taking shortcuts بس عشان نوصل للتارجت, and that's not the point. So what starts as something that will inspire أو إنه يحمس التيم ينتهي بإنه هو يكون سبب لإحباط أو توتر أو anxiety عالية.
Oh, well, you're right. I think it definitely adds a layer of anxiety and more pressure. But do you not, like for me, Anna, أحس I'm responsible to make sure that everybody gets promoted every year. Like that's a big thing I put on my shoulders. I want them to get an increment every year. That means I have to cover my costs and their salaries plus to be able to achieve that. So I have a number in mind and I make my sales team reach it. Do you not feel that pressure on yourself or anxiety to meet certain figures to then be responsible for, other than the bonus that they get at the end of the year, but to make sure they all get promoted?
أحس إنه زي كأنه الجول هو إنه نعمل أحسن شيء عندنا، وهذا ما ينحط عليه رقم، لأنه imagine لو حطينا a goal at the beginning of the year and then COVID happened. You cannot control it. You cannot do anything about it. فزي كأنه when you don't reach it, no matter how great the number that you actually reached, it's still not good enough because you did not reach the target.
So do you believe in work-life balance, or do you feel like that's BS that doesn't exist?
100% I believe in that.
In work-life balance?
Definitely. مرة مهم. عندنا يعني we completely respect time من ناحية إنه we do respect the client's time. فبالتالي the client will respect our time. كتيم members نحترم وقت العمل، فبالتالي العمل يحترم وقتنا الشخصي. فدايما أقول إنه anything that is a part of your personal life is valid. يعني لو إحنا نبى نشتغل اليوم and we're staying late but you have an open heart surgery, that's valid. And if you have a hairdresser appointment, that's still valid. فاهمة إيش قصدي؟ إنه your life matters.
You talked to me about accountability. So what if someone's like, I have a deadline tomorrow, but I need to go to the gym. I need to go to the gym at 5 and I'm not done with my work.
هذا يجي على الكالتشرال فيت ولا لا؟ يعني لما تحسي إنه أنا مطلوب مني إني أنا أنفذ شغل معين في وقت معين، ما عمري حأطلب من أحد يعمله بطريقة معينة أو في وقت معين، ولكن you have to deliver. If you have to go to the gym, well, actually this happens. يعني one of our senior designers يعني he's obsessed with the gym ولازم يروح every single day. If you want to go ahead. This means you will start work at 7 a.m. If this works for you, go ahead and do it. بس في accountability، لازم يكون مرة في accountability وكل أحد عارف إيش مطلوب منه وإيش متوقع منه.
What if they're not accountable? What if they just what if your senior designer says, listen, I'm going to go to the gym and I can't be, and I need to sleep, so I'm not going to be here at 7 a.m. so it's not going to be done.
ما عندي جواب because it never happened. أحس إنه في ownership على الشغل، و to be completely honest and fair to the team. الownership ما حصلت بعد البروفيت شيرينج. البروفيت شيرينج حصل عشان قد كده في ownership. people have يعني كل أحد يعرف إيش دوره ويعرف قد إيش دوره مرة مهم. and I was never in a situation in the past 8 years إني أحس إنه يعني عينك ما في accountability. بس كمان ما أقدر يعني sometimes a team member could be not taking accountability لأنه ما هو منتبه، بس مو لأنه ما هو مهتم. then it becomes time for a difficult conversation.
What do you do to unwind and relax?
I love going to the beach. So I go to the beach every weekend. This is the time where I connect with nature and I feel that I'm actually بأعبي الكاسة حقتي اللي فضيت طول الأسبوع. I love reading. We spoke about this. يعني مرة يفضي لي مخي ويفصل تماما when I'm reading. And I watch a lot of series. يعني أنا عايشة على Netflix.
What's your favorite series?
Of all times, Gilmore Girls. يعني يمكن شفته 10 مرات. بس يعني في a lot of shows. بس يعني أنا بالنسبة لي Gilmore Girls لأنه من وأنا صغيرة أشوفه. And it's so light وحقيقي it takes you to another place. يعني تحسي نفسك يعني completely parallel universe مختلف تماما عن اللي احنا عايشينه اليوم. بس I like Mad Men كمان and I think the writing is amazing. فكده عندي my shows that I really like and I keep watching them whenever I feel I need to unwind تماما. فما أحس إني بتفرج على شيء جديد وخايفة إيش حيصير ولا موترة ولا في cliff hanger. خلاص عارفة خلصته. I'm just watching just to يعني أطفي مخي شوية.
Do you ever get burnt out? Or have you ever gotten burnt out?
طبعا أكيد.
How do you recover?
I need يعني يحصل أحيانا ويكون غلطة time management من طرفي واللي يصير إنه عشان أنا يعني أوعد الفريق ب work life balance. فلما يحصل شيء ممكن يخرب البالانس I would rather take the hit قبل ما أي أحد تاني ياخدها. فأحيانا أنتهي بأنه أنا اللي عندي البرن أوت وأنا اللي تعبانة. what I do, I take a day off. I need to when it happens I need to take time off, لأنه أحس إنه كل ما حكمل كل ما حألخبط أكتر وحلخبط كل الشغل معايا. فحتى لو حيتعطل الشغل يوم أو يومين because I need it, I'll do it لأنه النتيجة حتكون أحسن.
Does the business depend on you today, or if you take 2 months off, it can survive?
I can take a couple of weeks off, but not 2 months. Yes, it does depend on me.
I want to wrap up with your new office interiors, which I don't know if you've recently decorated, but I think you've been putting some images of your office, and it looks gorgeous. So did you shell some investment out to like upgrade your space? And if so, why did you do it?
So we have this thing since we started the loft إنه دائما لازم نكون مرة مرتاحين في السبيس حقنا. we keep changing and يعني دائما نحب نغير الانتيرير، بس ما عمره كان بدرجة إنه يكون في construction. فممكن ندهن حيط، نلون شيء، نغير السبيس، الانتيرير decoration، الارينجمنت of the offices. فدائما we keep changing and shuffling لأنه نحس إنه مرة يغير الانرجي. And usually it happens بعد إجازة. During a vacation we change everything, and then when we come back we feel it's a new place. So this is what happened. It was supposed to be a very tiny small project, and it was a week before COVID. فكان المفروض شيء مرة بسيط يحصل, and then we ended up working at home for 4 to 5 months. فكبر يعني خلاص بما أننا في البيت خلينا نصلح كل شيء نبى نصلحه وخلينا نغير كل شيء نبى نغيره. بعدين another thing التيم كبر وصار مو مرة في space for everyone, we had to change يعني the layout of the office to fit everyone comfortably. بس بعدين عشان كنا لنا فترة طويلة بنشتغل من البيت, I felt إنه the team needs a fresh كده a new start. فصراحة I went all out يعني.
Did you design everything yourself or did you hire a designer?
احنا when we moved to the office we had an interior designer دائما نشتغل معاها. اسمها جواهر. بعدين in the past couple of years we had a client who's an interior designer, فبرضو she helped with the design of the office. أنا بالنسبة لي أحلى interior designer هي نوف أختي, فكمان she helped a lot with the furniture and the design and everything. فكان it was more of a collaborative work أكتر مما إنه we hired someone to do it.
And recently on your social media, you've been really, I think, spending, I don't know if it's because of COVID or if that was a strategic move, but I definitely see a shift in the content that you're putting out. Now you have like a grid going on, and I feel like you're really thinking about how you want your page to look like. What made you want to start investing more in curating your content?
I have the grid on my account for the past 3 years. بس it was more like a visual diary. يعني I wasn't sharing anything من ناحية إنه يعني أحتاج إنه يعني ما كان في knowledge that I'm sharing. It was just visually I'm sharing my days and my travels and everything that I do. بس during COVID I did a couple of lives, and then I felt إنه I like to learn a lot. وعندي passion مرة قوي when it comes to personal development و how it translates into professional development. فحسيت إنه I just want to share my experience. فيمكن اللي تغير هو نوع الكونتنت وكان فيه له زيادة أكتر بإني بشارك قصتي الشخصية مو أي شيء تاني يعني. How things worked out for me.
I want to say thank you. This has been wonderful. So many interesting moments for me. I think maybe one of the things that I didn't see coming or I wasn't prepared for was just your love for learning. I know what you love to read, but I didn't understand how much that was integrated into your life as a lifestyle, and how much you spent of your time coaching, mentoring the team. That's it for this week. Thank you for listening to an episode of the Women Power Podcast. And thank you for downloading and streaming our podcast every week. If you love what you've heard, tag us on Instagram and follow the Women Power Podcast and Women Power Summit account for more information on our next episode. Please leave a rating review wherever you get your podcast. It really helps other women discover the show. That's it from me. See you next week.